Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things we're talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. They'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We
It's
have
time
arrived.
to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We
It's
have
time
arrived.
to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First
the
Contact
truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. Today is Thursday. It is the 26th of June. Today our sun sign is in Cancer and our moon sign is in Gemini at the moment, but it is currently or will be transitioning out into Cancer later. So we're going to have a double Cancer day this evening, double Cancer evening, and a double Cancer day tomorrow, and then on the weekend, Saturday, the same thing as well. The transition will be going to the next one is on the 29th, which is Sunday. Okay? So Sunday we make another transition over. So for the next couple days, we're dealing with a Cancer moon. Cancer moons are all about emotions and feelings. The Cancer symbol is the house that represents the home environment, mother or motherly instincts. But the most important thing is about the emotions. It's a water sign. We want to protect ourselves from the emotions that are out there so we don't get overwhelmed by them. Now we look and see that about an hour ago, the Mercury and Gemini, the moon sign, got together right next to each other in a conjunction. And we know that they play very nice together because they're both part of the same unit. Mercury rules over Gemini. And later tonight, 4:05 p.m., is when we make the transition from the moon sign into Cancer. If we want to take a look at our this chart right here, I like this chart, how it is, and let's see here how to. It's not moving like it should be moving. Yeah, now it's gone. Okay, now it's gone, but it's up there so you can check it out. I'm not going to go look for it again. Here is the numerology for today. It's a 3. So the day is the month is a 6. The day is a 26. 2 plus 6 is 8. And the year 2014 is a 7. Add them all together. We have a 21. 2 plus 1 equals 3. That's right. 2 plus 1 equals 3. 3 is the number of the Empress. 3 is a number of activation. 3 is a number that we hear about all the time. 1, 2, 3. 3 is an important number. We hear the Trinity. Triangle has 3. The whole idea is you have the 1 splits apart. Okay, splits apart. Now that 1 has to find balance. And once that 1 finds balance with itself, and then it has an interaction, it comes together in that triangle form right there. Okay, it's not an Illuminati symbol. It's a triangle. And guess what? Triangles came along before the Illuminati. Okay, so the organizations down here on Earth, it's not like they have some secret wisdom that they and they alone have. No. They've just hijacked information that is out there, that has been out there, and they've taken it over and convinced you to believe that this is all theirs. It's not all theirs. The Illuminati doesn't have control over all of these symbols. They've just simply hijacked them. So, enough with that. But 3 is about the Empress. 3 is about imagination, creativity. If we go over look at our Tree of Life symbol here, We could see where the Empress is. It's that path right here that goes between wisdom and understanding. Wisdom is things we learn. So we use our wisdom to learn, and then we apply understanding to that. This is Saturn. So when we talk about the planet Saturn, and we talk about the discipline of Saturn, because through that discipline, we allow ourselves to understand the things that we have learned. And so therein lies the idea of discipline. Within this classroom here of wisdom is where we will find the zodiac. You see that little symbol right there is the wheel of the zodiac. Down here is the symbol for Saturn. Okay, so Empress is imagination. So imagination is the bridge that brings together the things we've learned to the things that we understand. Our imagination helps us to achieve that. And by opening up the door or using our imagination, we open up a door. And the Hebrew letter assigned to this card of the Empress is Daleth. Daleth means door. So we open up the door. Our imagination opens a door to the access right down here to the middle pillar, which takes us right down to the heart. Okay, so it's very important. Here's the Cancer symbol right there. Here's the Gemini right here. So we can kind of see where we're at here. We're on this side of the tree of life at the moment. And the Empress here, this understanding, is our balance to getting us back to the middle, or our communication. Okay. Highlights of the tarot. This is up here at the Builders of the Atom site. I'm going to leave this link up here because it has a lot of good information. So when you want to look up like the Empress, you just click on it. And there we have all about it. It says fundamentally this key represents the creative imagination. All of its symbolism refers basically to reproduction, multiplication, and growth. In direct contrast to the virginal high priestess, the Empress is a pregnant matron. She is Venus, goddess of love, beauty, growth, and fruitfulness. She is the great mother principle in nature. She represents the activity of the subconscious mind. The stream and waterfall symbolize the stream of consciousness. It flows from the robe of the high priestess, as do all of the streams pictured in the tarot. The water falling onto the pool again is a representation of the positive and negative potencies of the life force. These potencies are symbolized by the scepter of the Empress. The heart and the dove, pearls, wheat, and trees are all Venusian symbols. The necklace of the 7 pearls symbolizes the astrological planets, and the 12 stars about her head represent the 12 signs of the zodiac. Okay, and then if we want to look further, the Lovers, which is Gemini. We've looked over this plenty of times. Discrimination is the keynote of the 6th key. Symbolism graphically portrays sharp differences. The letters Ayin means sword, which is an instrument of cleavage. This key also is attributed to disposing intelligence, and disposing literally means to pose apart or to separate. In addition to the zodiacal sign Gemini is attributed to this key. Gemini means the twins, and its sign is approximately 2 ones. This gives us a clue of the occult doctrine that all opposites are really but different aspects of the one thing, and they are complementary. The title of the Lovers brings this out even more graphically. Okay, and then the other one would be the Chariot, representing Cancer. The sun sign where we are and the moon sign where we're headed. And this one here, if you remember, is the inner self. The sphinxes are the senses, the reins by which he drives them. Represent the mind. The chariot itself is the body and is drawn by the sphinxes. Advancement in occult work depends upon the realization of the fact portrayed in this key. For it is only when we understand these facts that we allow the real self to guide our personalities. The charioteer is a victor. The key represents the conquest of illusion. Okay, and since this is the sign that we're looking at all month, let's look a little further. So the idea of enclosure protection is suggested in a number of ways. The Hebrew letter chet means fence or palisade. Sign Cancer, attributed to key 7, means crab, an enclosed crustacean. The chariot, the armor of the rider, the wall in the background, the battlements, the towers are all symbols of the same idea. The starry canopy represents the celestial forces whose descent into matter is the cause of all manifestation. On the shield in front of the chariot is the Hindu lingam yoni, symbolizing the union of opposite forces. Above the shield is a winged globe. The globe is the sun. The wings represent the alchemical element of air, which carries the power of the solar rays. The wheels represent rotation or cyclic activity. The scepter, the combined crescent with the figure 8, symbolizes the combined powers represented in tarot by the magician and the high priestess. Okay, so the armor of protection, allowing spirit to flow through to be able to move the chariot forward. Current moon phase, we're just a sliver away from that new moon, which happens tomorrow. We could see it says 0% of the way full, so we're just about there. If you have a really good dark sky, look east tonight as the final glow of twilight fades away. All across the low eastern sky, the intricate modded band of the Milky Way is on the rise. It rises high through the night and crosses straight overhead around 2 to 3 a.m. Space weather, our solar wind is 347.3 kilometers per second. Our planetary K index is 2 at the moment. A couple coronal holes that are going to be sending some wind our way over the course of the weekend. M-class flare possibility is moving up now from 1 to 5% over the next 24 to 48 hours, and geomagnetic storm activity appears to be moving up a little as well. We're going from 5 to 15 here and up a little bit here slightly in the high latitudes. So we got some solar activity definitely happening. And the Jewish calendar today is 28 Sivan. And the daily thought is: all the elaborate proofs, all of the philosophical machinations, none of that will ever stand you firmly on your feet. There's only one thing that can give you that, and that's your own inherent conviction. For even as your own mind flounders, you yourself know that this is so, and know that you believe it to be so. It is a conviction of all the winds of the earth cannot uproot that has carried us to this point in time, that has rendered us indestructible and timeless. For it comes from within, from the heritage of your ancestors who believed as well, back to the invincible conviction of our father Abraham, a man who took on the entire world. The doubts, the hesitations, the vacillations, all these come to you from the outside. Your challenge is but to allow your inner knowledge to shine through, to be your guide. Inside is boundless power. Okay, so that gets us started there. Again, takes us to the inside. Isn't that what we hear all the time? Inside is where we need to go. And when we go inside, we find the truth, because outside of us in the world around us, there's a lot of illusion. And that's why we hear talk about the various cards represent illusion. Because when we open our eyes, we see the world. Well, it's a world that we envision because we're looking through the eyes of our consciousness, of our unconscious through the conscious into this world. And we see the world as we've created with our minds, with our reality becomes what we think about. So we've created this world around us, and we're all collectively playing this game, creating this world around us. And part of the problem that we face, or the challenge we face, is that our thoughts create things. So we have a lot of thoughts going out there creating a lot of things. Some go on and they create great things. Some don't do anything because they don't really have a great force of power behind them to create or manifest. Either way, we're all creators. We're all here. And the more that we learn to understand our oneness, our commonness with each other, the better off we're going to be. One example I think is when we look at the world religions or philosophies. You have Judaism, you have Islam or Muslim, and you have Christianity. The irony is that all three of them come from the same source, Abraham. So you would think that there would be the understanding of this common wisdom, because Abraham himself wasn't out there practicing three different types of faith. Abraham had one type of faith, and it's being expressed through three different groups. And strangely enough, these three different groups fight with each other about who's right and who's wrong. Shouldn't be any fighting, because they all come from the same source. And when we realize more and more of this, about ourselves, we'll stop fighting with each other. We'll realize that we're all in this together. But the fact that there is the fighting kind of shows us and leads us to the idea that there's something more going on. There's an element which is thrown in the mix, which wants to fight, which wants to go against the grain, which wants to rebel. And that's the challenge, to be able to discern that so we understand those elements and then find a way to make a change. Because remember, our perception, our reality, is what we think about. We can truly change the world with our thoughts. Just in the same way that the thoughts create the world the way it is, our thoughts can change the world. We just need to bond together. When you turn the television on a daily basis, and people all around the country and all around the world do this, they're turning it on, they're watching the news. The news is not about giving you information. It's about programming your mind to understand the story that is being told. And while your mind is being programmed, those behind the scenes who are telling the stories are moving along with agendas that are different than what you're being told, because you're being programmed to only see in a story, to see the illusion that they are putting out into the world. When we learn to look past this illusion, we see what's really going on. But we have to realize that we're in a world that is being confused. There is a lot of illusions taking place. And when the media and when the leaders and when people in the world continue to propagate the propaganda machine and continue to spread the lies and the mistruths, it just keeps those things going and makes people worried. We shouldn't be worrying about such things. All we need to be focused on is ourselves and God. And God should be number one. I've been thinking, you know what? I read this book many times, I Am Third. Have you ever read that book, Gail Sayers' book, the story of Gail Sayers and Brian Piccolo? It's an awesome book, but one of the phrases that I've always remembered is the title of the book, I Am Third. God is first, my friends and family are second, and I am third. And that's something I feel like I've carried with me throughout my life, and I think is important for all of us. It's a great lesson that when we put the spirituality first, when we put others ahead of ourselves, and then ourselves, we start to find out that life is unfolding in a way that's much more meaningful. All right, so there you go. That gets us started. UFO news is up next. Let's get to it.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk, thank you very much. So today, our first story comes to us from Mars. There we go. We have a little white dot there. We got a mountain range you can see up here. What could that white dot be? So you got a white here, and it looks like there's something down here. Maybe it's a little reflection off of that white dot. Direct link to the photo, and these photos taken by the Mars Curiosity rover. We see a glowing UFO over the hills, and it comes down in front of the same hills. This shows us that the object is not a distant star, but an actual moving object. So while NASA is monitoring Mars, aliens are monitoring the rover. Okay, and here's video image of it. You can see here it is right in this area here. And alright, a little orb up there. Definitely something's going on, more than meets the eye. And let's move on from here. So up on Mars, we know there's lots of stuff. Here we have a compilation of videos. This is a 10-minute compilation. And this is a compilation of NASA videos. It says the compilation includes many of my favorite NASA UFO encounters or sightings that I have archived over the years. All of these examples, with the exception of the second to the last one, were captured on film by astronauts or Russian cosmonauts over the past half-century, showing many amazing examples from different eras: Gemini, Apollo, Soyuz, Test Project, Skylab, STS, and the ISS space station programs as well, thrown in to round things out. Alright, so check this out. Oh, that's pretty cool. Alright, so go through here. There's a lot of good sightings. A lot of good things coming to you from NASA. Coming to you from NASA, but not from NASA. Okay, moving on. Over here we have Chinese student photographs two UFOs over New Zealand. A student has photographed what he claims to be two UFOs floating eerily above a harbor in New Zealand late at night. Terence Hung, a 25-year-old originally from China, took the pictures of Otago Harbor while with two friends, but said he only saw the mysterious objects once he had looked at the images. I had a brief look at the photos last night, but it was late and cold, so we went home. However, a spokesman for the New Zealand skeptics said not only is it far too easy to fake something, but it's also very common for digital artifacts to be misconstrued. Certainly doesn't look very solid at all, but which I think supports the reflection theory. Well, of course that's what skeptics are saying. Skeptics are always going to go to the skeptical aspect of things. That's just what skeptics do. I know someone who's a skeptic. They are a hardcore skeptic, and no matter what I say to them, their response is always, I don't believe it. It's always their first response. I don't believe it. Well, there's skeptics like that in the world that don't believe anything other than what they're told by the box in their living room. And they turn it on and it tells them what to think, and then they go throughout the day believing that they are well informed because they've been told how to think. Mind control works well on many people. Has them thinking they're doing their own work. Back up to Mars again. NASA says their plan is to colonize Mars. Dr. Ellen Stofan says that missions to the Red Planet are a priority of the U.S. Space Agency, and that the best way to search for extraterrestrial life is by setting up a permanent presence. Is NASA looking for intelligent life? NASA right now is really taking a stepwise approach. Let's look at our own solar system and the most likely places where we would find life. That's why we are so focused on Mars, because we know Mars had liquid water on the surface and we think it is essential to life. What we expect to find, certainly in our own solar system, are probably simple single or multiple cell forms of life. To get to intelligent life takes stability of conditions over huge long periods of time. We're not sure that a condition exists anywhere else in our solar system, but certainly when we go out and look at the habitable planets around other stars, is something we can start thinking about. The Kepler mission has found planets orbiting stars other than our sun. What is the impact? Well, it's turned around an understanding of how our own solar system formed, because when you have one solar system to study, you make assumptions that are based on that information. When you have many solar systems to study, many planets to study, it's really making us rewrite textbooks. We're launching the James Webb Space Telescope in 2018 that is going to study the atmosphere of those planets around other stars. Some might argue it's a luxury to be spending money investigating other planets instead of solving Earth's problems. Well, there's more here, and they want to go and they want to look for extraterrestrial life by going to another planet. NASA, look up. You'll see flying saucers in the sky. And if they're not flown by us, which you can check because you have that kind of clearance, you will find that you don't have to go to another planet to find extraterrestrial life. You'll find it right up there above us. As a matter of fact, NASA, if you go to your own photographs, you'll see images on there that you'll know aren't your images, aren't your objects. Extraterrestrial life. So all you have to do is have a willingness to allow the extraterrestrial life that's here to communicate with us by having a global message that they're not here to harm us. And there you have it. But if you feel you need to go to Mars to be able to find life, you go right ahead. You go right ahead. All right. And one last piece here. This has to do with the Anunnaki. This comes to us from the UFO Digest. The Anunnaki and the New World Authority. Steve Erdman. There's two parts to this. Today, as we move forward into a new millennium, in the light of cutting-edge research in the field, work by many respected scientists, said Robert Stephen Thomas, I believe it is now possible for humanity to shake off the age-old dogma and primitive assumptions that we have been led to except as our history placed them with a truth far more logical and compelling. Thomas describes himself as an amateur historian of 40 years with a library of over 1,100 nonfiction books on history, religion, philosophy, and modern sciences. He dedicated his work to answer three major questions. 1, where do we come from? 2, what is our purpose of life? And 3, what is humankind's destiny? Thomas tentatively began his quest with questions about the magnificent stonework of the ancients. He spoke of the miraculous construction in Lebanon, at Baalbek, in the Bekaa Valley. There were also Egyptian monuments. One was the Great Pyramid. Thomas outlined the work of American engineer Christopher Dunn. The evidence is to be found directly and clearly visible markings and the abrasion of trace impressions left by sophisticated machinery on extremely hard stone surfaces, said Thomas, used in the construction of the pyramids and many other stone objects found throughout the Great Pyramid and Egyptian ruins. Thomas marveled how the ancients came to possess knowledge of the precession of the equinoxes, the Giza star map, the Piri-Reis map, and the Mayan Aztec calendar. There has been no paradigm shift in our thinking to account for the fact that someone in history prior to our present era, said Thomas about the Piri-Reis map, has the ability to see through the ice masses of Antarctica up to 2 miles thick and map the coastline. The Mayan Aztec calendar remains clear of the degree of scientific knowledge and understanding that is demonstrated in the construction and the function of this calendar is far beyond any single achievement that has been discovered in relation to these cultures to date, said Thomas. The information contained in these calendars is not primitive, but highly advanced. Tiwanaku Lake Titicaca. This included the Gateway of the Sun, Pumapunku, the Kalyasa Temple. By any reasonable standards of measure, the structures and function of these ruins of Tiwanaku are beyond present understanding in relationship to remote time and history during which they were constructed, said Thomas. To discover the purpose, we must engage in a new way of thinking. Quimby jets, the ancient pre-Columbian artifacts, were a hypersonic aeronautic design and a replica of one of the NASA space shuttle. It is not a stylized bird, bug, or fish as described in the window of the display cases of the museums where they are kept, said Thomas. It is a stylized jet aircraft. No amount of weaseling around it will change this fact. 16 times larger scale models have from balsa wood fitted with a small airplane propeller engine in one model. Jet engines the other flew flawlessly without any modifications of the original bio designs. There is no question that advanced knowledge existed in the past, said Thomas, though it may seem by some to be a rebellious position to take. We don't dismiss the evidence by living in denial and refusing to accept the logical and the obvious. Thomas spent considerable time discussion about Zecharia Sitchin's research into the Sumerian accounts of alien Anunnaki from the Buru. There are multiple interpretations of the meaning of the Sumerian accounts, but Thomas believed the Anunnaki and their absence in human history is one of the major factors missing from the true meaning of humankind. There are multiple interpretations of the meaning of the Sumerian accounts, but Thomas believed the Anunnaki and their absence in human history is one of the major factors missing from the true meaning of humankind. With their ability to negotiate interstellar space travel, the Anunnaki were clearly much further down the path of scientific knowledge than we are on our own current state of understanding. They would certainly have mastered many of the secrets of the genetics which enable an increased lifespan. Thomas created a drama of events about Anunnaki history based on Sumerian legends, like the Zecharia Sitchin research. This involved advanced technology, including genetic tampering of Homo sapiens. The Book of Enoch portrayed these events, the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Old Testament, Indian Mahabharata, and the Vedas, as well as a host of legends and myths. Though the Anunnaki are no longer maintained a permanent presence on Earth after approximately 2500 BC, there are many historical indications that they continue to have a direct, supportive, and influential role in shaping historical affairs. They occasionally appear on Earth and influence landmark events and provide pivotal assistance to key historical figures. All right, part 2 of the article will be continued tomorrow. So, there you have it. Extraterrestrials, extraterrestrial technology. It's all there. It's all around us. All we have to do is open our mind to understand and look past the illusion that this world is weaving in order to keep you from seeing what is really out there in the stars. It's kind of crazy. Here we are on this planet, here to evolve, and there are those who want to keep you from evolving. Kind of let you know, though, who are the good guys and who are the bad guys. Not that we should be picking sides, because I don't believe that we should set up enemy consciousness, but we do need to be aware and be observant enough to know who's doing what out in the world. Just because someone's doing something bad today doesn't mean that they can't have a change of heart, because we often read many times in the Bible where someone had a hardened heart and then God found a way to get through, and that person's heart was softened and they changed their ways. So it is possible, but we need to just always fend for ourselves, make sure that we are not being deceived, and then we can help others to open their eyes so they're not being deceived either. Okie doke, okie doke. Let me move on to the next bit of information. I'll be back momentarily. Stay tuned.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Let's continue on. So today what I'm going to start off with is The Bringers of the Dawn, Son and Barbara Marciniak's books about the Pleiadians. I found a PDF version here, so it's linked at the site, firstcontactradio.com, if you want to go ahead and just follow along, read the book. Anyway, you could see here what this book is made of, the various chapters, the foreword, Ambassador of Time, our Prime Creator's Journey, Who are your gods? I'm going to jump ahead over to chapter 1 and read a portion of this for you today. And chapter 1 begins on page 11. Our ancestors were some of the original planners of Earth, orchestrators who seeded worlds and civilizations with creativity and love. Because of their qualifications, they likened to orchestrated worlds just as conductors love to conduct. Our ancestors are also your ancestors, and we like to call your ancient family, as indeed you are. Our ancestors gave their DNA to the original planners, and the DNA became part of the DNA of the human species. We Pleiadians come from your future, in a version of our now. There exists a place of tyranny and turmoil, and they have seen the probable futures of Earth that include the same tyranny and decay. Time is greatly misunderstood in third-dimensional reality. You believe that time is measured in minutes or degrees. Time is much vaster than you realize. In actuality, time codes and plays with information, allowing you all to move into reality simultaneously by stretching, distorting, curving, and twisting time around. You can get into an elliptical curve of time and experience many realities by simply going around the elliptical curve and discovering that as time is not solid, neither is reality. As all realities are not solid, and as the future is not set, it is only a number of probabilities, we see an opportunity at this time to insert a more positive probability for Earth. We wish to reinsert light onto this planet and restore Earth to its original purpose, that of becoming a magnificent intergalactic exchange center of information. So we have come back in a section of time to a place we call a kernel or a seed in order to effect change. This change will not only affect Earth, it will affect your future, our present, and the entire universe. This is big news. You have come to Earth, a place at a time when evolution is at hand. A major leap is about to take place that you came to participate in, and you are not alone. For many energies are coming to Earth now to participate in this great project. There are motherships surrounding this planet that are acting as literal transducers of energy. There are beams of light coming to Earth from old and ancient star systems that have been working with you for eons. These beams of information are being blasted onto the planet. As this information is being beamed to you, your body must be able to receive it, transduce it, boost it, and beam it back out to others. Many of you will build telepathic links with the mother ships that will be like having your MN radio stations through which you'll be able to tune into a wealth of information at will. This is the evolution of superconsciousness, the evolution into the highest aspect of your being. You do not need to worry about becoming this being, for you already are this being, and you just need to remember it. Since the veils around Earth were lifted at the time of the harmonic convergence, you have been steadily beamed with this energy from the outer cosmos and is constantly being stepped up and increased as you are able to handle it. You are evolving now at such an extremely accelerated rate that each year of your decade will be like 10 more years of the previous century. Feel how much will you accomplish by 1999 and feel who you will be. It is as if you will have lived 100 years in a decade. You will be flooded with memory, flooded with many other things. Many of you will take trips upon ships to various portions of the solar systems. As you come into the age of light, worlds will open that you never knew existed. You have moved past other ages, the Bronze Age, the Iron Age, the Industrial Age, the Information Age, and so on. These other ages had to do with seeding, planting, cultivating, and putting the potentialities of life into the third dimension. A transition is about to occur, a dimensional shift that will lessen the density of the third dimension so that you will move into the higher dimensions in which the body does not have a solid state. You have come here because you wish to master the evolutionary process and to be able to live with it. This is going to be very exciting because it means you are going to function in many realities. Buried deep inside all of you are the answers. The questions that come to the forefront of your minds or arise so you can bring the answers from within your own beings. In order to achieve this, you must first believe that this information is stored there. Humanity is learning a great lesson. This lesson, of course, is to realize your godhood, your connectiveness with Prime Creator and with all that exists. This lesson is to realize that everything is connected and that you are all a part of it. Okay? I'm going to leave it right there. As you can see, there's a lot more to this chapter. Again, this book came out a while ago, before we hit the year 2000. Same stuff, same information. It's just another reminder. And all the information that's come out since then has been a reminder of what it is that's going on. The shift that is taking place. We're hearing it over and over and over again. So either we can do one of two things. Either we can say that these are just words that mean nothing to us, and we just go on with our lives ignoring them. Or we could say, there sure is a lot of messages about the same thing, and actually accept those words as understanding what is taking place and then act accordingly. And if we do that, we might see a whole different world than what we are imagining right now, because we learn to see past that veil of illusion. Okay? So there you have it. That's our bit about the Pleiadians for today. I'm going to go to this video here. This is Dolores Cannon talking about Atlantis.
Well, whenever Atlantis went down, a lot of them, some of them went to Egypt and were survivors and to other places, but some of them went underground. And there's an entire cities all throughout. There's all kinds of tunnels and transportation systems that link them all together. Some of the trains and things down there can go 3,000 miles an hour to link the cities together. There's like a sun inside the earth that lights everything. So they have light, they have lakes, they have water, they have everything they need. And there's animals down there that do not exist on the surface of the earth. They have live computers, if you want to say that. This is in my second volume of the Convoluted Universe. It talks about the underground cities. They have computers that we can't even approach, that can create and do anything they want. And the people are so advanced, they have no desire to come to the surface. They have everything they need down there. They've been down there for thousands and thousands of years. And They're much more advanced than we are because there's no wars, there's no violence. But yeah, there's civilizations under the surface of the earth. And people say, well, it can't be, there's only the magma. It's not. No one has ever gone, I think how many miles it said they've gone into the surface of the earth. They've never gone to where the underground cities are. They're much deeper than that. But they're all connected with tunnels. It's a lot of things I've discovered. They are entrances under most of the monuments in the world, especially under pyramids. There are entrances to it that have been discovered, but a lot of times they are guarded because they don't want people to go down there. And it's not advised. You wouldn't be able to go down there unless they would invite you anyway. But there are entrances all over the planet in and out of these underground cities. They're real. But it's not advised to go exploring around these things because they're heavily guarded. But I've written about all of this. It's in my books anyway.
Well, we're just getting your beautiful message out there.
Okay.
Do any of them come to visit us or come to help heal
They
us?
can, but they don't want to. They'd rather stay away from us. Even the ETs are afraid of us, the extraterrestrials. We are isolated over here in this part of the galaxy on purpose. Earth is a young planet, and we're put over here in quarantine, so to speak, in this part of the galaxy on purpose. They don't want us to contaminate the rest of the universe. We're the ones that are violent. We're the ones that are the negative ones, and they're really afraid of us. So, believe me, the people underground don't want anything to do with us either. We have to get our act together. Oh, the ETs help us all the time. They've been helping us since the beginning of the world. But that would be a whole other series of lectures that I could give you on that, as how they created us and how they started the whole civilizations and been watching over us since the beginning of time. So they're not negative. But eventually they want us to join with them and to be part of the Federation that it's called, because they said we would be a valuable addition because of our curiosity and our creativity. But they don't want us as long as we're into this negativity. That goes back to our animal nature, and we have to get rid of that first before we can ever be allowed to associate with them. So they just watch us and observe us and shake their heads. Can't figure out why we do the things we do. And when I was talking about getting the psychic abilities back and beginning to realize your true nature, get away from the animal nature, the violence and everything. That's part of it, and they're helping with it. They're hoping we're going to go out of it, but it's not easy. But we can't do it, and that's why they won't associate with us. People say, why don't they go and land on the White House lawn? They don't want anything to do with us. They're observing us to see what we're doing. The only way they would interfere would be if we were to try to blow the planet up. Then they would have to interfere. Because if we were to destroy the world, it would send reverberations out through space into the galaxies and disrupt too much. And they couldn't allow that to happen. It's the law of non-interference, and it's very real. And if they can't interfere unless something like that would happen, because then we would be interfering with other people, other civilizations. So they just watch us and shake their heads. We're a planet of free will. They've given us that to see what we're going to do with it. And they don't like what we're doing with it. But that's all they can do. But I give lectures on that all the time too. But it's a whole other series to take it from the beginning. I've written 4 books on that alone. So every civilization in the world has the legends of the nature spirits, the dryads, the fairies, the gnomes, the pixies, the little peoples, because they're very real. They're the nature spirits. Their job is to take care of the plants and the animals. And we have all been these things. It's like we've all been rocks and plants. We've also been fairies. It's part of our nature to take care of the animals and the plants. It's just another life form that we've been. When I go to England, they understand this more because they're very close to it. When we were close to agriculture, to nature, people used to see them more. But now that we've gotten into the technology age, we don't, because we drifted away from it. But they're still there. I said the only ones you're aware of now are the gremlins that like to play games with my computer. But they're still very real. They're still there. It's hard to find them in a city, though. But they're just other beings, that's all. Another form that we go through. The guardians. The planet has a consciousness. The planet is alive. It's a living being. So it has its own karma. It's why it doesn't like what we're doing to it. And it's like a dog with fleas. Eventually, if he doesn't like what you're doing to it, it's going to shake the fleas off. This is what's happening right now. It's living out its karma to get rid of the tormentors. No, the earth itself has a consciousness. It's very real. This is what cried out, help me. And this is where the volunteers have come in to help change everything that are coming in at this point. But that's totally separate from the nature spirits. It's a totally different thing.
All right, and see threemagicwordsmovie.com, where you can hear the entire interview, and a lot of great information from Dolores. Lots of great information. If you haven't read her books, check them out. Check them out. Check them out. Okay, we're going to go over to an article here. This one is a Michelle Walling article, and this comes from her home site, which is cosmicstarseeds.com. I did an interview with Michelle about 2-3 weeks ago. The interview's available, First Contact Radio, or you can go to her site, cosmicstarseeds.com. She has it up there as well, or in 5D, and check out the interview. Very informative, a lot of information from Michelle. You've heard her articles. They're filled with lots of information you need to know as far as helping you to ascend and understand what is taking place in the world and how we fit within. So here's another one. This one is called How to Master Vibration. Everything is energy, vibrating a certain frequency. This basic principle may be unknown to most people, yet once you get the concept is realized, it opens up a whole new world. Within this world lies the reason for incarnating on the planet at this time. The masters of vibration are here to teach others how to master the principles of raising your vibration at this crucial time of ascension. So who are the masters of vibration? Well, in order to learn how to master vibration, it is wise to know the masters. The masters of vibration have experienced all dimensions of vibration and experience, including the densest places of our universe, planet Earth. Some of these masters are in etheric form, and the most experienced have taken physical form. These masters of the Earth experience have incarnated over many lifetimes. Most of these lifetimes fall within a major shift of energy, such as a shift from one age to another, and especially at an opportunity for a golden age. All of these incarnations were planned in order to have the experience necessary to incarnate into this time of the shift of the age of Aquarius. These masters began as an aspect of the one source creator, and their main purpose for creation is to experience the vibration of energy and report their findings back to creator so that it can know itself. They took the form of angels or messengers, and they could choose from many angel jobs. After their job is done here, they have the opportunity to begin the long trek towards merging with their creator with their experiences in hand. Most of these vibration angels are not in physical form. Some of these angels work with the vibration of the planet to help balance her labor pains while she shifts to a higher vibrational frequency. They hold the space, which is the space between where the creation occurs. They manipulate the vibrational energy imbalance by either merging with it or affecting its vibration. This helps to lessen tsunamis, volcanoes, earthquakes, and pole shifts. When they heard the cry from Mother Earth, they were some of the first to send an aspect of themselves forth in order to help her make the shift. The job of a formless vibrational can vary. Some angels are the couriers carrying experience of energy vibration to the Hall of Records. Other angels work in the filling of information in the Akashic records of the Hall of Records once the data arrives. There are also angels who guard the records and who know who can access a record and who is not allowed. There are many other jobs these angels can do to serve, but occasionally one of them gets bored and decides to incarnate. Some people say angels don't incarnate, but that is not true. To master vibration, one would have to experience every level of vibration. This includes being in physical form, and it also includes having a lifetime playing the role of the dark. Soul contracts are made, and they send a portion of their energy down into the womb, just like any other being who wanted to have an earth experience through reincarnation. Masters of vibration in human form can appear to any type of human on the planet. They have roles to play just like everyone else, and they may have karma transmute if they have had many lifetimes before. This incarnation is the big one for them, and most of them do not plan to return to Earth in its current state of vibration. Therefore, many of them are successfully waking up to what they are here to do and have stepped forth as teachers, philosophers, and spiritual influencers. Various aspects of various forms of angels walk the earth today in human bodies. Earth is the place to be at this time. It is what is happening in the universe. However, with the excitement of serving on their minds, you do not think a lot of angels read the fine print in their contracts before agreeing to incarnate. Even the angels need their unseen brother or sister angels around them to help guide them, since they all forgot their missions when they incarnated. All right, you can see there's a lot to the article here. I'm going to jump to the ending part and leave the article for you to read. Says right here, the heart chakra is where the masters reside. The masters of vibration are here to help humanity and planet Earth shift into a higher vibration and consciousness. Every person incarnated in a human body has the tools necessary to contribute to the future of humanity. Whether you are a master of vibration or a master of something else, you had to be a master in order to take on this job at this time. Now it is the time to do what you came here to do. If you do not know yet what it is, the answer can be found in your heart. The heart is the master of vibration's biggest tool. Inside the heart, one will find the door to the higher vibrational dimensions. A master will find the right key and will be able to use the human body to ascend to the fifth dimension and higher. All of the answers that were veiled upon incarnating can be found within the heart's vibration. The treasure hunt is almost over for some masters of vibration on this planet. Okay, so very good article. This reminded me of something I wanted to remind you of. So here is this list. This is the principles, the Hermetic principles. And vibration is certainly one of those principles that is there. So let me just give you a quick reminder, because this ties right in with that. There's 7 Hermetic principles. Remember, we went over this book for several weeks. Principle of mentalism, that the universe is a mental construct. All is mental, multiple vibrations taking place within multiple dimensions. All of these correspond with each other, and then as we just got from this article, everything vibrates. The principle of vibration. All of these vibrations, these energies have poles that shift from one to another through a process of rhythm. The process of cause and effect is in place because of things we do. The causes create an effect, and so on. And last, that all things have gender, male and female, masculine and feminine, or positive and negative charge of electricity, not men and women. We have to learn to look at male and female, masculine and feminine, these ideas as more than just the physical bodies that they inhabit, that there is something much bigger, that the universe is comprised of these energies, masculine and feminine, male and female. They're just electric energies. Just think of everything as energy. When you look at the energy, the universe as an energy, as a circuit, and you start to understand it from that perspective and look at it in that way, it starts to make a lot more sense, because you realize that all this energy is doing is finding better ways to work. You're finding a better way to work with the energies of you. You're finding a better way to interact your energies with the energies of the planet and with the energies of everyone else. We're all doing the same thing. And through all of this energy, we create these energy fields that we live within. A lot of them we have to weave through because they're illusionary, but within there's truth. So we weave through playing this game of Earth as we are all going through this process of change. So vibration is very much a part of it, because the world will vibrate along with what our thoughts move along with. Okay? All right. This is a message for today from Hilarion. There we go.
June 22nd through the 29th, 2014, by Marlene Swetleshoff.
Beloved ones, there has been a great influx of the energy of love and compassion which has been directed from the hearts of many light workers around the world, as they join together in unity to bring about beneficent changes in the monetary systems of the earth, and within the hearts of humanity, and this energy has been magnified by the ascended realms as requested by many. As mentioned before, the changes occurring on Earth are wrought in peaceful ways that carry the higher vibrational impact in a vision that includes the intent that the changes must be for the highest good of all. The impetus of this activity will now filter down to effect changes within the hearts of those who have long controlled the world's systems in a self-serving way. When many are gathered together with focused intent for the highest good of all, there is nothing that can long delay the desired outcome. The creation of a new world is being intended by those who carry the spark of the Creator strongly within their hearts. These ones are remembering that this is a part of the mission they came to implement in voluntary service to the divine plan. They are realizing that change begins with their input and that they must take peaceful and loving action personally in order to bring these changes into manifestation. They understand that appearances as they play out are not what really is, and they maintain their higher vision. The qualities of faith, hope and determination can move mountains, and this will become more noticeable as the events envisioned come into manifestation in the everyday life of humanity. We of the Ascended Realms bow to all who work together in unity in these ways and encourage more efforts such as these to take place with regularity. The goddess energy is permeating the atmosphere of Earth and all her inhabitants, and this will affect humanity in surprising ways that will uplift the hearts of the majority of people on the planet. As greater balance of the divine feminine and masculine energies takes place within each soul, there will be balance in their outer world as well. The intent and desire to live in a peaceful and prosperous world will come into fruition for humanity. This vision is required to be maintained and affirmed each day by all who understand the power that they wield by such activity. Let them also understand that they do not stand alone in this effort, that many unseen forces are assisting and encouraging this work to continue. It is the inner thought processes of humanity that meld together to create their reality, and when more people realize this, the changes to their world will be phenomenal. It is most important to join minds to recreate a new type of civilization that will serve all upon the planet. As more people become governed by spirit, they begin to release and let go of all that has been holding them back from pursuing their dreams with passion. Their desires will be in alignment with their soul's natural inclinations, and they will begin to move into their best role in the new world that is being created. Each person will live each day by following their natural passions and that which brings them joy, and this will help in creating a synchronistic and harmonious lifestyle for each. There are as many paths to the new world as there are souls upon it, and all are needed in their communities as these come into manifestation. They must be open to sharing with others and helping each other share their particular gifts, as each is needed to contribute in the best way for all. As people in the new world are unfolding their inner capabilities, they are beginning to have a greater ability to discern the intentions of others and are able to more easily deflect these frequencies and energies from interfering with the direction they have set for themselves and their world. Keeping focus on their higher aspirations will ensure that only those who are in tune with their intentions can influence them, and many there are who awakening to the knowledge that they do not need governance by any external force as long as they follow their own soul's path. Each person is being guided to the highest contribution they can give to the collective of humanity to create a new and rewarding life for all humankind. The possibility of creating something beyond what has been dreamed of is now upon the people of Earth. It is a most exciting time to be a part of, and here you are, poised for takeoff. Until next week. I am Hilarion.
All right, very good message. You know, one of the things that I've been thinking of over the course of listening to some of these messages here is reality TV. Now, we have reality TV down here on Earth. But just think of the possibility that out there in the cosmos, up there in the spaceships, we got our brothers and sisters are out there, and they're tuned in to the reality show of Earth. We could be stars, reality stars upon their ships. Not that I think it matters once we get off this planet. I think that we have this idea about celebrity and starness that is different than what it is in the cosmos. But nonetheless, you know, I like to think that there's someone up there on these ships tuning into this show periodically. And if that's so, contact me. I'd love to do an interview with you. Be on the show. Be a guest. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. This brings us to our meditation for today. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and exhale. Take another deep breath, and exhale again. One more. Inhale, hold it, and exhale. Now, start off by thinking of this affirmation. Just contemplate the words. My life is backed by a mighty wave of God consciousness. Excellence is seeking to express through me. I let it. High thoughts of health and wholeness manifest as my body temple. My relationships reveal a joint participation with divine love. The bright sunshine of my own being lights my path and shows my way. Gratefully, I let it be, and so it is. So just imagine yourself filled with that God spirit, that God consciousness that is guiding your life from the inside. Imagine all of the guides that are around you at this moment in time, that are here to assist you with life and the process of change. And as you contemplate the ideas of God and the helpers of God, the angels, the elementals, the fairies, the gnomes, and all of the other spirits we're unaware of, as we contemplate all of these things, we realize that there is much, much more than we realize upon this planet, and there is a lot of help. A lot of those who want to see us progress as souls. Let's take a moment to look into our hearts. And just take a moment to recognize that throughout this process of life, we've been many things. In many lifetimes, we've been good, we've been bad, and we've been all phases in between. But all of this is part of the lessons we've learned, so we understand the lessons. We understand the reasons for understanding such things so we can move through life and do the right and leave the wrong. So we give thanks to ourselves first and foremost for being strong enough to go through these lessons. And then we forgive ourselves for doing those things which we know that we wouldn't be doing now that we have learned the lesson. And we understand that was the purpose for the lesson to begin with. So we forgive ourselves. We forgive those who might have done anything to us that we felt was wrong, which in actuality was part of the lesson of learning. So there was nothing that was done to us. It was simply the lessons that were being learned. So as we experience these lessons and these changes, we give thanks to all. We appreciate what we are being taught. We appreciate that we understand the lessons that we have been taught. We imagine ourselves sending love out into the world and just allowing that vibration of love to be enough. So we send out love. Start with where you are at this moment. Let your body fill with light and love. See the love, the same color as the heart chakra, green, filling your body. And then this green light overflows your body, fills the room that you're in. See it expanding outward from the room into the city where you live. Expanding further out into the state that you live in. And then from that state out into the entire country. Across the sea to all of the other countries around the world. And just see the whole planet bathed in this green light of love. And just see the word love superimposed over it. Going around and around the planet. And just think to yourself, love is the answer. Love is the key. Now, as you go through the world today, let's just keep sending love out into the world. It doesn't have to be through our words. It can be just through our energetic ideas that we put out. It's through the vibrations that we send. So let's just think loving thoughts. And let those loving thoughts go out and change the world. So imagine those thoughts going out from you and affecting the persons and the things around you, thereby affecting the way in which you react with those things. And through love, all things are changed to the better. So imagine yourself sending love. Let the subconscious mind continue on that journey, and let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale and open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That is our show for today. Thank you so much for being here. I'll be back tomorrow with more news and information. Friday, we're going to talk about Jesus. I like talking about Jesus on Fridays. That way, got the whole weekend to contemplate the words that were spoken by the wise master. That's it. I'll be back tomorrow. I love you. Keep loving each other. Love yourself. Keep making the world a better place. That's what we're all about. We've arrived. We're here. We're doing what we're supposed to do. And just keep doing it. Talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.